Today we're here to talk about packaging coffee. And our guest today, who I see every day because she's also our purchasing agent and manager of the Green Bean Co-op of Coffee Crafters, and also in business with Sisters Coffee Roasters with her and her sister. So she knows a lot about coffee packaging. So one of the reasons it's important to talk about packaging, especially if you're a new roaster, is it can be very confusing on choosing the bag, knowing what to put on it. So we're going to try to put some information towards that that'll make it a little bit easier. The first thing that your coffee bag should do for you is help educate your customer, because most coffee drinkers are new to what's going on with coffee roasting and what makes good coffee and bad coffee. They'll see gourmet on a bag and think that it's good coffee. And as we know, that can be not
False.
true, right?
Yes.
The second most important thing about your coffee bag that it should do is to preserve freshness, which is also a part of that educational component. And with the coffee bag, you know, we want it to be able to extend that fresh roasted coffee experience. And the last thing is to promote your brand. So, you know, obviously your coffee bag should promote your brand. So what I'm going to have Carrie do first is walk through our bags here. We have a lot of different styles of bags. And Carrie, why don't you just go through that and tell them a little bit of something about each one of these different styles of bags.
First, we're going to start off with the bag that you see here. It's a metallicized coffee bag, and it's called a stand-up pouch, and it has a valve in it, and the valve helps to have the gases escape. It's a one-way valve, so no air in, gases, and air out. And that's what you see here with the label on it. And they come in various sizes. They can come anywhere from a 2 ounce to a 16 ounce, a 2 pound, and I think that's about it for this size of bag. And a lot of people like these because as you're using your coffee, you can undo the Ziploc, you can get your coffee out, you can grind it, squeeze the air out, and Ziploc it back. That is really the best for your coffee. This is a little bit smaller, has no valve. This is just for demonstration purposes. This is a 12 ounce, and they do come in various colors. There is a gusseted bag with a side seam that you'll see, and these are really popular in stores because once you fill them, the bottom flattens out and it stands nicely on the shelf. And it's usually about a 12 ounce bag, and you can get these with a valve. This one doesn't have it. One thing about these bags though is that after you've sealed them and then you open them to access your coffee, you'll have to have something to seal it. Now you can get it installed with a valve and a tin tie. That's not the optimum for preserving freshness afterwards, so you really need to think about that. They also do make some tape that after you've opened it, you can roll it over and then tape it shut, but it's not as effective as something with a valve and a Ziploc. Least desirable is, these are small, but this is a sample size, and this is what is called a paper bag with a tin tie. So once you've got your coffee in it, you fold it over and you fold it over, and then you seal the little tabs on the back of the bag. So obviously air in, air out, not the best. You can start off with little samples if you want to give them to folks just for fun, but I wouldn't recommend it for selling your coffee in a store or on a regular basis. That's just kind of fun. And they have it in the craft paper that'll see-through window. So there's also another bag that Ken likes. It's an 8 mil poly bag, and it does hold up and it is reusable. You can do this with your customers if you want, or just personally for yourself at home. You can put a label on it. It does have the Ziploc, and it is very durable. And it's the least expensive of all of them. It does not come with a valve.
Yeah,
though.
these are about 23 cents. I use this for my personal coffee to take it home. And one of the things you have to be careful of with these, with fresh roasted coffee, is get them in the refrigerator right away. And we'll talk a little bit about freshness later, because I've taken these home, laid one on the counter at room temperature, and it will expand and blow up. Or blow open, and the one in the refrigerator is fine. It does not expand. It can, 24 hours, it doesn't expand. So Carrie, which one is our favorite here?
We particularly like the stand-up pouch. As you can see, this is what it looks like. This is a full 1 pound, and a lot of people like the 12 ounce for selling them in the stores. It does take up a little bit more room, say, in packaging, in shipping it out to your customers, but compared to what this would look like standing up on a shelf and or boxing. So this bag is our favorite. It has the valve, it has the zip lock, and you can seal it, and then it has the handy tear corners. So this is our favorite that we get.
Yeah, we probably recommend that more than anything. And on the bottom of this video, you're going to see a link to Stock Bag Depot where you can purchase this. And how much are these a piece, Carrie, in bulk?
These ones are 28 cents per bag, and this is the metallicized, and then it has really good barrier protection for your coffee beans. And there's one step up. It's called the foil bag, and it has excellent quality. You can choose between the two. It really doesn't matter, and that's 38 cents per bag,
Yeah,
and you can buy them by the case.
Labels nicely too. That's one of the things I like about these. You can put your labels on flat.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
next let's talk about scales. So
Okay.
if you're roasting coffee, you need to have some scales. And you use a certified scale. Can you explain what that is?
A certified scale is legal for trade balances, and if you're doing business, you can be audited and find that you're not using a scale that is legal for trade. A lot of businesses have to have them because think about it, you're measuring out, say, 12 ounces. What if your scale's off? And these have been calibrated. So if your scale is off and you're saying you're selling 12 ounces and you're really only selling 10, you're cheating your customer. Or you could be cheating yourself and putting more in the bag. So anything that you want to look for online, it's called the NTEP approved legal for trade balances. And they have 3 different classes of scales. What you're going to look for is a class 3. Other scales are for jewelry, gold, and that sort of thing. You don't need to buy that expensive of a scale. And they can run anywhere from $105 on up. This particular scale handles 10 pounds of beans. So when we're packaging our 1-pound bags, it's really convenient. It also comes with a cord to hook into the power, so you're not always using your batteries.
Okay, so that's one of the expenses of
Yes.
going into business and you're measuring coffee. What about sealers? Now, our favorite bag here, and a lot of these bags, you're able to heat seal them, which actually makes it, and then when they open them, they can still ziplock them shut. And we actually give these away on some specials that we have on some months. So tell them a little bit about the sealers.
Okay, well, this is a tabletop sealer. It's called an impulse sealer, and it's a single heat element, and the heat element runs under here. This is perfect for the pouches that have 2 folds right here. So it's thin enough, and it'll seal this really nice, and it has a thin line. And that is my favorite sealer. You can also use a seal-a-meal at home. It does the same thing.
Yes.
And use a seal-a-meal, you're just not using the air portion where it vacuums out the air. Now this particular type of bag that's called a gusseted bag, it does not do well on your single element impulse sealer because since they're folded, technically you have 4 layers on the edges to go through. So you could try and use it and do it twice, but you're going to end up, burning through your sealer. So you would want to use a constant heat sealer or what's called a double impulse sealer. And so the double impulse and the constant are a bit bigger. They can be like tabletop size, or they can be on a stand-up platform, and you can use your foot as you hold the bag and press it through. So
And these are inexpensive. You can find these on Amazon
Yeah.
for under $20, I think.
yeah,
Still.
I just saw some today for $15.
Yeah.
And the width varies, so you can get like a 8-inch width here all the way up to like a table length of 34. But really, basically, you just need one large enough to handle the width of the bag that you're going to use.
Okay, I'm going to close this out by talking about some of the important things about Freshness. Now, we do have a Friday show. I think it's episode number 9, if you look on our video library, that is about coffee, roasting, and freshness, how to keep it. The reason that you want to educate your customers about storing coffee, and your bag should tell them that, how to store coffee, is there are some things that kill a coffee bean. One is heat, the other is light, moisture. So these are great. You never ever want to store your coffee at room temperature. I always preach to people, put them in the refrigerator. Now you're going to read some things online. People tell you not to do that because a bean is hygroscopic. And what that means is moisture moves through a coffee bean, right? So the way you do that is you take your coffee out that you're going to use in the morning, you close the bag, squish all of that air out of the bag, and then put it in the refrigerator. And then as the bean expands over time, a whole bean It'll last up to 10 days, and I am a coffee snob when it comes to the smell of coffee beans. Carrie teases me all the time because I cannot get close to a bag of coffee without smelling inside. So we're going to have a label on our website in the coffee packaging section that you can print off that talks about coffee freshness and storage, and you can download that, print it, put it on the back of your own coffee bags. That's one of the resources that we have for you. So that's about it. Remember that coffee bags can be expensive, so if you're looking online to do some kind of fancy custom bag, remember you can get the coffee bags. We've seen these carries at trade shows where they're custom printed, laminated with all your stuff on it, and it can be up to $2 a bag. So a little bit expensive, probably doesn't make you that much extra money doing that. If you have any other questions about coffee bags and stuff, we have the one resource we're going to put on there, Stock Bag Depot. We have more on the website, some other suppliers that have some of the other ones. But remember, talk to your customers, educate them about coffee storage, and that's it on packaging.